Living every day in your head for free. You can tap away, but I will not hear you scream. You can break the keys, spread your toxicity, your world outside reality. In your room, a little hideaway, but you let it through. Enough to go insane, living in the dark hasn't treated you well. You're building your own prison cell. Hey, wait, don't waste it on me. Spite, life's telling you, don't waste it on me. Did I brush you off? Is it your lack of friends? We never met, even if you pretend. Am I in your debt? I don't owe you nothing. Don't say something you'll regret. Hey, wait, don't waste it on me. Spite, life's telling you, don't waste it on me. Hate, rage, don't waste it on me. Spite, life's telling you, don't waste it on me. Rage, don't waste it on me. Spite, life's telling you, don't waste it. I'm telling you, don't waste it. Life's telling you, don't waste it on me.
Screwing up. Tired of going down, tired of myself, tired of this town.
Yeah, Freestyle Friday number 17. My name is E-Double, his name is Tom Petty, and here we go. Small pond, big pond, the fish are the only difference. City out of harmony, lingering on the dissonance. Fishermen wrapping up citizens with their fishing nets. Sometimes chemical, some played old imprisonment. Dissidents laughing at themselves as if they had a voice, acting like technology really gives them a better choice. Protect the borders as we stack up our elitism. Defeatism is what we pretend that we keep believing in. I'm straddling both lines, the quietest revolt. Politicians fake like they caring that we vote. Legalese verbose, cause if it's plain English, then it's ADD riddle, and riddle children might get it. And if they do, then you're fucked. When they know what's up, you might start seeing public servants dressed as little punks. No tie, no suit.
Well, good. Did I turn off? Yeah, okay, I'm muted. You know, technology, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, welcome in. Good morning. Coffee beans. How are you guys doing this morning? This bright, wonderful Wednesday, hump day, all that nonsense and goodness. Hope you guys are having a great week. It's been hot, muggy. We're at that part of the year where we get, unfortunately, like showers of a morning because of the humidity, and then again of an evening. And so, funny story. Yesterday evening, as I was the missus and I was driving home from work, I was driving along, you know, she's sitting there looking lovely and beautiful as she is beside me, and it's raining, you know, and the windshield wipers are, you know, going, doing their thing, what have you, keeping the windshield clean where I could, you know, could see somewhat as I drove. And anyway, I'm driving along, you know, we're talking and what have you. And then out of the corner of my little right eye on the right-hand side of the road, I see this flash of nudity. And I'm like, and so I turn quickly And before I even think about it or anything, the words, "Is that bitch naked?" escapes my mouth. My wife, who was sitting there next to me and was, I think, drinking, she was drinking a Diet Coke Zero, got choked. And she said, "What did you say?" I said, "There was a woman who was naked dancing around in the rain as we drove by." And she was like, she just looked at me, kind of incordilant and those, with a stare that only a wife can give a husband. And she's like, "Are you sure?" And I look and I said, "Yeah." I said, I don't see wild naked titties in the wild too often. So if I see a wild naked titty, I know a wild naked titty when I see one. So anyway, yeah, that was my evening. So anyway, on that note, the most dangerous drinking game is seeing how long I can go without coffee. And I'll just tell you right now, it's not that long. It's not. I cut back on my coffee drinking during the summer because it's too dadgum blasted hot to drink. I am drinking coffee this morning out of my certified coffee with peepaw mug that you can get at my merch store. Now, I tried and failed last time to show you how the coffee mug, because again, this is one of those deals where I like the products. The products are great. The delivery time, response time on delivery was just phenomenal. Phenomenal. T-Public, I love the quick turnaround. I love the quality of the products, but your website design sucks balls. Straight up, no qualms, sucks the balls. So, last time I tried to show you, I had someone reach out to me and said, "Peepaw, I like that coffee travel mug that you showed a little bit back, what have you. And I really would like to, I'm sounding like Christopher Walken with the pauses between the words. Leave me alone. This is not pick on Peepaw Day. Okay? But I was like, I couldn't find it from where I ordered it. Because when I created the store, and before I went live with it, before I let any of you coffee beans purchase any of this stuff, I ordered a variety sampling of the different products because I wasn't going to, one, allow you guys to purchase anything if it wasn't good quality. And two, I wanted to make sure that they were very responsive because Teespring, that shithole of a company, I've still got poor Nietzsche waiting, trying to get a freaking hoodie from them. And they owe me money and won't pay out. So there's that, assholes. But anyway, excuse me. Sinus strange this morning. Anyway, I digress. So I was aggravated with myself because I couldn't navigate the damn website. Poor design, horrible design. But anyway, if you go here to the coffee mug, which by the way, beautiful coffee mug, great design, right? Beautiful, I love it. if you drop down, you can see here travel mode. Now, look. T-Republic or T-Public. Far be it from me. I'm not a, but why would you bury one thing under another? What, because they're both coffee? No, they're two separate products, right? Now, I could understand, for example, I want a hoodie. Okay, so you got a classic hoodie, you can do a premium hoodie, you can do a lightweight hoodie. So if you want something a little bit, for like maybe early spring, maybe there's a little chill in the air, something of that nature, and you want just a little something, but you don't need a big heavy one like you would wear in like the fall or winter. And so, so I get this, right? And then they have a even classic zippy hoodie. So, you can, the design is on the back of it. And then the zipper, and it's even got the little pockets and stuff. So, I mean, okay, these are all hoodies. I get it. You know what? Not a problem. I'm okay with that, right? And, of course, you got the different colors you can choose from. You whatever you want, the royal blue, heather, red, I don't know, whatever. If you want to stand out and, whatever, I guess, bada bing, bada boom, there you go. It's even got the big boy sizes, big girl sizes, so you can get it for your size. But anyway, that I kind of understand. Okay. Right. And even with the ball caps, okay, you got trucker hat and you got the dad hat, okay, and you got different color, you can get the, it's got the little, that type of a size selector in the back, whereas the trucker hat, of course, has the little, plastic thing where the, if you do it too often, the little teeth break off and it's useless. But anyway, there it is. You can get to it. That's how you select it. I just wanted to show that to you guys because last time I failed to be a good marketer, and how am I going to market my own merch and not even be able to show you how to do selections? And so I had to correct that because it shall not stand. It just would not stand. So anyway, I got a story for you guys this morning. And this is not one of your typical drama things. We're not doing the regurgitation of the drama slop. Occasionally we do that here. I'm not above it, but I try to, just for my own sanity, I have to try to find stories to me that is, maybe some new stuff, whatever. Good morning there, Mr. Burns. I hope you are doing well. So anyway, and this is a Waffle House story, but it is not a typical knockdown, drag out slugfest that they have in the Waffle Houses. This one, well, it's a little bit different. This is a story from 1999. Right? Nope, no flip chairs, no throwing tables. All right. So, let's see here. Here we go. Let me do something here real quick. We can do something here. Is this one a little bit better? Yeah, it's a little bit better. So I'll open it. Okay, there we go. Close this out. Okay. This lovely lady that you see on the screen. What? Where's my? Oh, Dad, give me my. Let me get to my notes. Because being old is a thing. This lovely lady, her name is Tonda Dickerson. Tonda Dickerson. Tonda Dickerson. Tonda Dickerson in 1999, the year of our Lord, 1999, was a waitress at a beloved restaurant of this channel, Waffle House. Tonda Dickerson. There you see she got a youngster, a little crumb snatcher there in the background. She was tipped a lottery ticket. Now, tipping, most people believe, is a good thing, right? Tip your wait staff. They work hard. Give them a little bit. So, she was working at this Waffle House in Grand Bay, Alabama. And this regular customer by the name of Edward Seward tipped her a lottery ticket that he'd bought in Florida. Now, as I'm led to understand by reading this article, this was a regular occurrence. This happened all the time. He would come in, this Mr. Seward, he would have his meal, and then he would tip Miss Dickerson or one of the other wait staff a lottery ticket. Okay, so this was normal, wasn't out of the out of the ordinary, whatever. And so anyway, so on March the 6th, 1999, he gave her this lottery ticket for the drawing the next day, and it was in Florida. Now, one thing to note, it was illegal for her to have this lottery ticket at the time, because it is considered gambling, and gambling was against the law in the great state of Alabama. Now, I tell you that so that you can put a pin in that, because it comes up later on in our story. So the next day comes around, the lottery's drawn, and lo and behold, she hit the lottery and won $10 million. So this Waffle House waitress, who was tipped a lottery ticket, won $10 million. Does this remind you of a movie? It does me. There was a movie that starred Nicolas Cage and Rosie Perez, and I can't remember the name of the other actress that played the waiter or waitress at at the restaurant. Anyway, good little movie. Check it out. But anyway, so Mrs. Dickerson chose to take 30 annual payments of $375,000 rather than a large sum payment of $4 million. Boy, that's a heck of a cut, ain't it? From $10 million down to $4 million. But she just opted to take, like I say, the 30 annual payments of $375,000. The employees at the Waffle House were happy for Mrs. Dickerson and for themselves. Well, it seems that her friends and co-workers, according to them, had agreed to split them out if they ever hit the jackpot. However, Mrs. Dickerson decided, well, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to split this money, so y'all can just piss off. And her co-workers, that's right, you guessed it, they were furious. Not only were they furious, they decided to take Mrs. Dickerson to court and they sued, alleging that had always been an agreement that to split any winnings among them, and it was an oral contract. So, they had a trial, and in the trial, her fellow employees won. And so she had to share the winnings with her former co-workers. But Mrs. Dickerson wasn't done, because she felt like, hey, this is my money and I ain't sharing it with nobody. So she fired her lawyer, went and procured her another lawyer, and appealed the decision. Well, the appellate court ruled in Mrs. Dickerson's favor, because her lawyer argued that not only was there not an official contract, but moreover, that Alabama law says that contracts related to gambling, which is an illegal, and are not enforceable. And the appellate court said, "You right." And so Mrs. Dickerson was allowed to keep the entire amount. Well, hip, hip, hooray. We've got a rags to riches story where a Waffle House waitress who was tipped a lottery ticket from the state of Florida hit the lottery, won $10 million, and so now she should be receiving her annual payment. She's going to get 30 years of annually payment out of $375,000. Well, meanwhile, a Mr. Seward, okay, I don't know who's Mr. Seward. Anyway, Mr. Seward was not only upset that Mrs. Dickerson did not share her with her co-workers. I guess he was was that the dude? Yeah, Mr. Seward, who was the guy that tipped. That's right. Okay, so mad cow disease. So Mr. Seward, who was the gentleman who originally tipped the lottery ticket, was upset with Miss Dickerson because she opted not to share with her co-worker. So I guess Mr. Seward rather, was also aware of this agreement that they had. Okay. But also that he didn't get the pickup truck that he claimed he was promised if any of the employees ever won the lottery. So evidently they had a agreement that, hey, if one of these waitresses hit the these tickets that I'm tipping or whatever, if they hit, all the employees at the Waffle House was supposed to share in the bountiful harvest of the lottery, and Mr. Seward, who was the original gifter of the lottery through a tip, was supposed to be given a truck. So he sued as well. But his case was just flat out dismissed by the court systems. Because again, remember, it's in the state of Alabama, you cannot have any type of agreement or contract over gambling. Well, that's what the lottery is. It's a gamble. And so no, you're out of here. So Mrs. Dickerson, surely yes, I forget. Look, Nad, you have known me for 25 years. almost 26. You got one of them annual days coming up here shortly. You know how I am. I forget how I couldn't remember your name most days. About the first 15 years of the boy's life, he thought his name was Dumbass. Oh, and by the way, while I pause for the cause, I did something this morning that I don't ever do. I set a goal on the donations, and this is a simple one. If I can get 10 donations at the minimum tier of $2, I will go an extra 30 minutes today. But now that contract that I've initiated here with you guys, it ends about 15 minutes before my show will end. So, so here at about, 7 o'clock? So here at about 15 to 20 minutes, that thing is going to expire, and you guys are not going to get an extra 30 minutes from Peepaw this morning. So y'all's lost. But anyway, back to our story. Mrs. Dickerson started an S corporation with her loved ones to avoid paying income taxes. So, guess what? Now we're back in court again. Why? Because Uncle Sam says, hey, I'm going to get mine. So, the IRS slapped her with a bill for $771,000 for not paying federal taxes. So, Toya Sue alleged that Tonda Lynn made the gift to the amount of $2 million, about $2.5 million, when she transferred shares of the $9 million to her family. That amount represented 51% of the present value of the lottery winnings, Forbes reported. So she fought with the IRS because what she did was she was gifting these monies and stuff to family members to try to avoid having to pay all these hefty taxes. So she challenged the IRS and claimed that the transfer was not a gift because she had an agreement with her family that if she won the lottery, she would share it with them. She said it was not a gift but got a contract between family members. So here's the problem, Miss Dickerson. She used the contract argument to win against her co-workers, and the court of Alabama says, hey, look, you can't have a contract over gambling because it's illegal. But now she's trying to use that same argument with the federal government. In her test, so for 12 years, she was chased by the IRS to pay $1 million in taxes. And finally, in the year of 2012, a court said that she did have to pay taxes on her jackpot. And so she was asked to pay a percentage of the gift portion, which turned out to be $1.1 million. And also, because of all the stress and everything that was going on from the multiple lawsuits, the IRS, whatever, she wound up getting divorced. The husband couldn't take it. He was like, yeah, I'm out of here. He says, I'm done. So the woman lost her friends co-workers and friends that she had made over the years at the Waffle House. She had to fight the IRS. She lost her husband. But was all said and done, she still wound up with a pretty good chunk of money. And because she was tipped, is that the right word? Because she received a lottery ticket as a tip. So from the year of 1999 to 2012, that's how long it took, so about 13 years, she was in struggles with the IRS over paying taxes. And that, my friends, is the story of Tonda Dickerson and how a tip upheaved and kind of destroyed her life. Destroyed her marriage, destroyed friendships, the whole kit and caboodle. So there you go. So what do you guys think about that story? Do you find it interesting? Or was it just another typical peephole slop video? Also, those who are going to come in later on and watch this, because I know you guys do, let me know down below what you think. In other news, we've had a wild sighting out there. One shockmouth has started making content again. He originally started with making some animated shorts. If we go back here and we look at his YouTube channel here, right? He did one that he calls Steel City Cops Episode 1 animated series. He put that out about 3 weeks ago. He's even got an uncensored version of it that if you're a member of his channel, you can go and watch. And then he put out one 2 weeks ago, a little riff on the Back to the Future 2025. That one's very funny. The first one was humorous too, but I found this one even more funny. And then he put out one of his, I don't know if some of you guys may not, I don't know if you guys have been around, but anyway, he used to do this thing called Shockmouth News. And so he put out one of those videos, this little 5-minute, 30-second video. He was doing those back in the day when I was streaming more regular every morning. You know, you guys would come in here and I would, every morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we would have a little coffee and I would cover all the slop drama crap that was going on. Well, Shockmouth was doing I would say akin to an old Drama Alert style where he was given a brief a rundown in, a 5 to 7 minute, type video where he was going over different things. So I hope he goes back to making these on a regular basis. I found them enjoyable. I think he has a very good speaking voice, and he's just funny. I think Mitch is funny. I think he's got some pretty good comedic timing, and so I would encourage you guys to check him out if you haven't done so. However, in other news, I know this is kind of going to be I guess we'll say a trigger warning for some of you guys. Some of you guys, a beloved person a Muppet from your childhood, Elmo, lost his shit the other day on Twitter or X or whatever it is we're calling it. He tweeted out saying, Elmo says all the blanks should blank, fuck blank. Donald Trump is a Netanyahu's puppet because he's in the Epstein files, blank, control the world and need to be blanked. He went on further to tweet out, "Please release the files." Tweets at Donald Trump, calls him a child blank. And then finally, he tweets out, "Kill all blank." Now, needless to say, Elmo later came out. Wow, shoot, I didn't pull that one up. Hang on, bear with me a second for folks. I thought I had the tweet pulled up, but I guess I didn't. Give me a second. Here we go. So, there we back. Here we go. So Elmo put out a statement. He says on Sunday, Elmo's X account was briefly hacked by an outside party. Likely story. In spite of the security measures in place. Yeah. We strongly condemn that horrid anti-Semitic and racist content, and the account has since been secured. Sure, Elmo. Everybody knows what happened. These posts were in no way reflect the values of Sesame Street Workshop or Sesame Street, and no one at the organization was involved. Ricky Berwick, noted troglodyte of the Twitter world, who likes to take chocolate chip cookies and stick them in the crack of his butt and then eat them, says, "I don't believe you, Elmo." So if we cannot take the word of someone as reputable as Ricky Berwick, what are we even doing, folks? Seriously, what are we even doing? I don't know. Where is my notes here? I got to get my notes. Another shocking news. A Canadian man did irreparable harm to his health because he ate a healthy meal without dumping a ton of ketchup on it. I reached out to him for a statement asking, "Did your system go into shock since I didn't see any ketchup on that plate?" The Canadian man, known as Badwick, remained mute. Our prayers and thoughts are with Mr. Badwick, because I'm sure he's probably in a hospital somewhere trying to recover from this catastrophe. Another shocking news, a content creator who promised to raise money for children's research actually raised money. Unlike Creator Clash 1, 2, or 3. He set out to raise $1 million by traveling to all 50 states in just 50 days. And in turn, he actually raised $5 million in just 35 days. So Ryan Turahan, good deal, buddy. You succeeded where Creator Clash failed. Good job. Proud of you, buddy. Ryan has a W. Exactly. Ryan gets a W, folks. Ryan gets a W. He succeeded where Creator Clash, all they did was put the money into pockets of YouTubers. And more shocking revelations coming out about the Creator Clash series of just one failed catastrophe after another. One Nicholas Duro tweets out, says, "We talked about it on Dad's stream." Now, when he's talking about Dad, he's not talking about his father. He's talking about the internet or the content creator known as, I don't, what the hell they got, Dad something or another. Well, it doesn't matter. Says last night, but the Creator Clash 2 crash rumor is fascinating. Allegedly, Real Good Touring hired which is the company, the promoting company that was hired by iDubbbz and Anissa to help them promote Creator Clash 2, which was a abysmal failure. Just abysmal. Hired a salaried guy to book sponsorships and opportunities for the event that he was supposed to make more than the fighters. You heard me right, folks. They hired a person who was supposed to go out and get brand deals, basically, and he was going to be paid more than what the fighters were going. The guys were actually getting in there. Nathan Barnett, thank you, Squatchin. That was getting their faces pummeled. This guy was actually going to make more than them. Nicholas goes on to write, my understanding is that he was only able to take credit for one single sponsor. And then that was actually brought in by one of the fighters, and that was a $45,000 Crash Bandicoot deal. And as you can see, there's a guy here at the Creator Clash 2. He's running around in a Crash Bandicoot costume. Because this guy was so horrible at his job, they renegotiated his salary down to, get this, just the crash deal. So the one thing that was brought in to, quote, help raise funds for the charity, this $45,000 Crash Bandicoot deal, that the guy didn't even bring in, by the way. One of the other fighters brought this in because of their ties to the brand, Crash Bandicoot. They just gave him the $45,000. So instead of it going towards any of the actual charities that this event was supposed to be going to raise, went into this guy's back pocket. Listen, I don't know. Again, this is rumors, this is speculations, whatever. But at this point, guys, honestly and truthfully, are we shocked? Is there anything else that could actually come out of this failed experiment that iDubbbz and Anissa tried to do? And look, for what it's worth, whatever this it is, mine is not. It's coming from me. So it ain't worth 50 cents. It was a noble idea to try to hold a charity event to raise money for. It was because those were great causes, you know. But the thing you have to remember is if you're reaching out to even these YouTube celebrities, I don't know, they're not, I don't know what they're called, D-class celebrities, whatever. I don't know what terminology. I'll just call them these YouTubers, the celebrity YouTubers, whatever. They should be given their time to go to charities, not being paid to come in and put on an event. Back in the day when they would have, and they still do, where they have these events where other celebrities, come in, Hollywood celebrities, this, that, what have you. And the celebrities donate their time. They don't charge for their time because it's, quote, going to a good cause. Right? But when the cause is spending tons of money putting on huge parties and paying out the, quote, stars that are putting on the event to the point to where there's zero monies left at the end of the day for the charity organizations that they're supposed to benefit, and you have to then turn around and do a humiliation stream, doing different types of punishments to yourself for certain dollar amounts to, quote, raise money for charity. To try to save face a little bit because you feel quote, horrible because you raised zero monies for these charities. This whole thing, this whole Creator Clash thing from beginning to end was such a shit show. Anyway, never forget, folks. Never forget. Never forget. So, anyway. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to the end of our time together this morning. We didn't hit our goal, so there will not be extra time for Peepaw this morning. So we're gonna wrap things up, I guess. Remember, guys, to stop and help those turtles that you see trying to cross the road. Save a turtle life. Turtle lives matter, folks. Because if we don't save the turtles, then there's no way for us to have positivity turtles in the chat. We have to save the turtles for the positivity turtles in the chat, folks. Anyway, I'm working on a project. And I'd hoped to launch it Saturday. We'll see. Me and my band of crazy people have got quite a bit of the legwork done. We've got to get a little bit more, hopefully get processed. And I hope to have this up and going for you guys this weekend. I don't know if we're going to make it. This is going to be a thing to where, depending on its popularity, I think will kind of depend on how often we try to do it. I've got to set up a time with Nietzsche so we can do our next movie review. That kind of got put on hold because she had a I don't know what, I guess you call it a guest, kind of moved in and was there for like 2 weeks. And I think she kind of got to the point she didn't think she's ever going to get this guest to leave. Guest didn't know that they'd overstayed their welcome and was disrupting the creative process. But the person finally left. So kind of giving Nietzsche a little bit of time to kind of get things back in order. Because, you know, when you have a house guest that comes and just won't leave, your whole routine gets just upended. And so we usually would record those on a weekend, and then I would spend the next week or so editing, getting it all, you know, put together and what have you. So I've got to try to get that done. We've got to get the movies watched so that we can talk about them somewhat from a position of knowledge. So that's one of the other things that I've got to kind of do. Let's see, did the thing expire? Yeah, timer ended. Yeah, so, yeah, you guys missed the boat on that one. Sure did. Anyway, so I think on that note, guys, we're going to call this a day. Once again, thank you for those who showed up this morning. I appreciate you. Hopefully you enjoyed our time together. Hopefully you enjoyed the stories that I had to share with you this morning. I enjoyed my time with you as well. But until next time, guys, remember to keep your Keep your powder dry. And I'll see you in the funny papers.